Manora hamakom hazeh. 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 How awesome is this place? Those are words that Jacob said after dreaming of angels. And in this week's reading for our Haftorah, the reading out of the prophets, it says, the captain of the Lord's host answered Joshua, saying, "Remove your sandals from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy," a holy place. And this echoes what happens to Moses at the burning bush, where God says these exact same words: "Remove your sandals from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy." So, Manora hamakom hazeh makes me want to take off my shoes right now. Because we are in a holy place, our beautiful sanctuary, on a holy day, not just Shabbat, but the first day of Pesach, the celebration of our redemption, which that burning bush moment was a pretty important moment in the beginning of the leader cultivation for bringing us out, that partnership between a human and the divine. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. And welcome. We have a special Shabbat this morning because it is Pesach. We will be singing Hallel, verses of praise. There are special melodies for the Shalosh Regalim, these festival holidays, the pilgrimage festivals. And Chazan Randall, my partner, my beloved, will be bringing us through with some of those melodies to get us really in the mood for the holiday and helping to lead Hallel as well. And additionally, we have a special new prayer happening today, a big shift in our liturgical calendar, which we'll be hearing more about soon. We begin with Moda'ani. Moda'ani. I'll find you a page 84. We just say we're so grateful to be alive. We're so grateful to wake up, and especially grateful for Shabbat, and even more grateful for Pesach. And I'm so grateful to add, I'm really excited to see everyone who's here today, including 3 B'nai Mitzvah students. Moda'ani lefanecha melechai v'kayam. Moda'ani lefanecha melechai v'kayam. Moda'ani lefanecha. Moda'ani lefanecha. On page 87, top of the page, we have a blessing for the gift of our bodies. You can find the words there in Hebrew, but I want to bring in this translation that I love, that many of you have heard me read by Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi, of blessed memory. Baruch atah, Ya Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokhmah. Praised are you, our God, who transcends time and space, for you formed human beings with wisdom, creating in us all sorts of ducts and tubes. Modim anachnu lach. We are grateful to you for enabling us to recognize the holiness of the divine image, to continuously create and recreate ourselves, and to establish ourselves in your presence. How diverse are your works, God. You have made them all with wisdom. Praised are you, God, healer of flesh, maker of wonders. Baruch atah Yah, rofei kol basar umafli la'asot. So we have a series of blessings that are on page 90, the traditional words, gratitudes for the little and the small things, ways in which we just say thank you, and thank you again. But today I really want to lift up the gratitudes that might be here in this room or in the Zoomosphere. So if you have any gratitudes, well, I'm going to sing the opening, and then those that here in the room, when you say it, I'll repeat it so people online can hear. And people online, you can feel free to unmute or put it in the chat, and we'll make sure your gratitudes are heard as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
To be here in this sanctuary once again.
To be here in the sanctuary once again. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu chei haolamim. To enjoy the rain. Amen. And the snow. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam. That Jay's father has lived such a long life. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
That my brother came to visit us.
That Randall's brother came to visit us for Pesach. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam. The blessing for preparing our daughter Sophia Golden for Bar Mitzvah. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu chei haolamim.
For my family and friends.
For David's family and friends, and all of our families and friends. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
That Randall is on the bima with us.
Oh, that Randall is on the bima with us. So sweet. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu chei haolamim. To see snow on the tulips. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hama'avir sheina me'einai unuma me'afapai. Who wipes sleep from our eyes and slumber from our eyelids, so we can observe the bounty and wonder of the universe. Amen. Baruch Shamar is on page 117. Again, the Hebrew is there. This is our entryway into verses of song, Pesukei de Zimra. We praise before we praise. We like to do that a lot in Judaism. And again, I'm going to bring in beloved Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi's words for this prayer. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu. Blessed one, you talked the worlds into being. What a blessing you. Blessed one, your word makes for becoming. What a blessing your name. Blessed one, you decree and sustain. Blessed one, all beginnings are yours. Blessed one, your compassion enwombs the earth. Blessed One, your caring is kind to all creatures. Blessed One, you are generous and rewarding those who respect your creation. Blessed One, ever alive, ever confirming existence. Blessed One, you make us free. You rescue us. When we hear your name, we offer blessing. Baruch podeh umatzil, Baruch hu uvaruch shemo. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mechulal batishbachot. Blessed are you, Eternal One, sovereign, extolled with praise. We're going to sneak back to page 108 for a psalm that feels really right on this day of Passover. Elecha, to you, the Eternal One, I call, and to my God I cry out. Hear me, Eternal One, and be gracious. Eternal One, be a help for me. God helped the Israelites leave Egypt because we called out. It's a partnership. It's teamwork. God needed to hear us ask for help. It's a reminder for us to ask for help when we need help, and that to then listen for the answer. Elecha Adonai ekra ve'el Adonai etchanan elecha Adonai ekra ve'el Adonai etchanan Shema Adonai v'choneni Adonai ehyeh ozeli Shema Adonai v'choneni Adonai ehyeh ozeli Yai dai 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 Yai dai dai May it be so. Psalm 150 is on page, I'm going to go to the end of it, page 139, lifting up the last words. We're not doing a lot of Psalms in this section because we have a lot more in Hallel coming. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kohan Shama, Hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kohan Shema,
Kohan Shema,
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah, Kohan Shema,
Kohan Shema,
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah. I'm going to turn it over to Hazan Randall to bring us into the melodies of our festival. Page 143.
Hoel betatsumo tu zecho Hagadol bichevod shemecha Hagibor leonetzach vehanora benoratecha HaMelech HaYoshev Al Kisei Ram Venisa Shochenad Maron Vekadosh Shemo Vekatuv Rananu Tzadikim Badonai Laisharim Nova Tehillah Bifi Yisharim Titromam Uvdivrei Tzadikim Titbarak Uvilshon Chasidim Titkadash Uvkerev Kedoshim Titalol. Top of 144. Ishtabach Shimcha Lad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VaHaKadosh Bashamayim Uvaretz Baruchot v'hodaot me'ata ve'ad olam Baruch ata Adonai El melech gadol batishbachot El haodaot Adonai niflaot Habocher b'shirei zimra Melech Elchei Olamim. On page 43, the Hatzikadish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach irutei, V'amlich malchutei, V'chayechon uv'yomechon, Uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'golo v'zman koriv, V'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'olam ulmei ulmayah. Yitbarach v'ishtabach, V'itbar v'itramam v'itnaseh, V'itadar v'itale v'italal, Shemei dekudeshah, Berichu. Le'lol min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiron be'olma, V'imru Amen. We now raise for our call to prayer the Baruch Hu. Page 149. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvorei choshech v'osei shalom uvorei et hakol. You abound in blessings, eternal our God, sovereign of all time and space, who forms light and creates darkness, makes peace and creates all things. Please join me in the interpretive Yotzer, bottom of page 156. O God, you have created us in your image and have made us to share in your work of creation. You have given to each generation the task to shape the future of humankind. May our gratitude for all the beauty, order, and power that reveal you in nature impel us to serve you. May nothing that we do mar the holiness of life by causing any fellow creature to lose the joy of living. May all our acts conform with your law and bring blessing to us and to all whose lives touch ours. Create your light to shine upon us that we may walk in your way. Blessed are you, O God, creator of the cosmic lights. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot. Top of page 157, we have the Ahava Rabbah prayer. And what I love about the Ahava Rabbah, and then just after the Shema, we have the Ve'ahavta. We're singing a joint love song to God. This one we're singing to God. Well, God, we're singing about God's love to us. We're singing about our love to God. It's a love song. Ahava Rabbah, ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, Rabbah, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu. I invite you to think about all the ways you know love in your life. Take a moment, think about how you are loved. When we sing Dayenu at our Seders, last night, tonight, we're singing about all the ways God has loved us. And as I often talk about, we can, whatever God means, right? Whatever that means, the way the universe has shown us love, the way grace has showed us love, the way paths have opened, the way friends have been there for us, the way our parents have supported us, birthed us, nurtured us, the way strangers have loved us. This holiday is a festival of gratitude. Shabbat is a day of gratitude. We lift up this love. And with Ahava Rabbah, we sink deeper into one of the ways we know love is with the gift of Torah. וההר הננו בתורתך ודבק לבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. In an act of self-love, we call in the corners of the universe, all that's separate, all that's broken, bring it into our hearts, represented by our seat and our talitot into Echad. V'havienu l'shalom. Bring us together in peace. May arba kanfot haaretz from all the corners of the earth. V'tolichenu komamiyut le'artzenu ki el poel yeshut ata v'kerevtanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet lehodot lecha u'yechedecha be'ahava. Baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel. Blessed are you, ever present, who loves your people Israel and all peoples everywhere. And this is a moment where I invite up Solomon, who will be leading us in the Shema, page 160.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavecha, uvchol nafshecha, uvchol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela, Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinontam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam B'shivtecha B'veitecha Uvlechtecha V'derech Uvzachbecha Uvkumecha Ukshartam Leot Al Yadecha Vahayu Latotafot Bein Einecha Uchtavtam Al Mezuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha.
I am the life giver, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. Mi Chamocha, a redemption song.
And then when we begin the Amidah, we'll begin on page 501. You'll see that right following that on 502 will be the prayer for dew, for Tal. And you know in the Amidah, we either say Marid HaTal, or Moshiv HaRuach, or Marid HaGoshem. One is, Tal is dew, Geshem is rain. So we're now entering into Tal, and we'll read this whole blessing today. After page 503, when Julie and I finish the Tal, then we can go back to the festival Amidah, which is on page 185, and you can finish your Amidah there, okay?
But for now, Mi Chamocha begins on the bottom of page 165. Or 166. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you all these numbers again, so you don't have to remember. So again, this is the first day of Pesach. We switched to Tal. We're praying for dew, and we're going to hear more about that a little later.
Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, nora tehilot, O Sefer Adonai, Yimloch le'olam va'ed, mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer Adonai, yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Let my people go. Tzur Yisrael, Kuma b'Yesrat Yisrael, Uvdech Enumecha Yehuda v'Yisrael, Go Aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael, Praised are you, life giver, who redeemed Israel. We now turn to page 501 and rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach
Ufi agite ilatecha. May God open my lips that I might utter praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Leah Ohel Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasodim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imot Umevi Geula Lifnei V'Neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Mogen Baruch Atah Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Kol Chai Atah Rav Lehoshia Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu with dewdrops of light let the earth be illumined with dewdrops of blessing let the earth be blessed with dewdrops of joy. Let the earth rejoice with dewdrops of delight. Let the earth be enriched with dewdrops of splendor. Let the earth be resplendent with dewdrops of good gathering. Let the earth be summoned with dewdrops of song. Let the earth sing with dewdrops of life. Let the earth be revived with dewdrops of well-being. Let the earth be improved with dewdrops of redemption. Let the earth be redeemed with dewdrops of sustenance. Let the earth be sustained. She'atahu Adonai Eloheinu moshiv haruach umorid hatal livracha v'lo liklala.
For blessing and not curse.
Amen. L'chaim v'lo l'mavet.
For life and not death.
Amen. L'shova v'lo l'ratzon.
For abundance, not dearth.
Amen. Amen ve'amen.
Page 185.
Michal kel chaim mohi bechesed b'chaye kol chai brachmim rabim tzomek noflim v'rofei cholim umatir asurim umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurat umidam melach melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'neman ata lechayot kol chai Baruch atah Adonai nechaye kol chai nikadesh et shimcha be'olam Kishem shemakdishim oto bishmei maron kakatuv al yad neviecha v'kora zeh el zeh ve'omar kadosh 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 Adonai tzivot melech haaretz kivodo Rosh Gadol, Adir v'chazak mashmiim kol, Misnasim le'omat serafim, le'omatam baruch yameru, Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkom elkeinu tofia, v'tim loch aleinu, ki mi'achakakim anachdu lav, Motai timloch b'tzion, b'korov b'yameinu, le'olam va'ed tishkon. Titgadal v'titkadash, b'toch Yerushalayim yircha, l'dor v'ador u'lenetzach netzachim, b'eineinu tirena malchutcha, Kadavar hamur b'shirei uzecha Al yidei David Mashiach tzidkecha Yimloch Adonai le'olam Elohai Tzion L'dor v'dor Hallelujah L'dor v'dor nagid God lecha Ulenetzach netzachim kedushcha nakdish V'shivcha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh atah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We continue silently to page 195.
Say Shalom Bimramav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Oh, say Shalom Bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru
May the one who makes peace bring peace for all in our world, and let us say, Amen. We now turn to Hallel, which is on page 198. It is customary to rise for Hallel, but please take good care of your bodies, and if you need to sit, that is fine. And this is a section, just extra praise for our holiday.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et ha'halel. B'tzeit Yisrael mi Mitzrayim Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez. B'tzeit Yisrael mi Mitzrayim Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez. Hoita Yehuda lekodsho Yisrael mamshelotav hayam raveyanus hayardem tisov leachor hehorim rakedu chelim gevot ibnei tzon malech
Page 207, Pitchuli.
Pitchuli Sharei Tzedek Avovam Odeyah. Pitchuli Sharei Tzedek Avovam Odeyah. Zeh Ashar Ladonai Tzadikim Yavohu Bo. Zeh Ashar Ladonai Tzadikim Yavohu Bo. Odcho ki anitani vatei li lishua. Odcho ki anitani vatei li lishua. Heaven masu abonim aita lerosh pina. Heaven masu abonim aita lerosh pina. Meit Adonai hoita zot Niflat beinenu. Meit Adonai hoita zot niflat beinenu. Zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo. Zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo.
Going back a page, page 205. Hallelujah, Adonai, kol goyim shabchuchu, shabchuchu, kol haumim, ki gavar aleinu chazdo, ve'emet Adonai, le'olam hallelujah, odu l'Adonai, ki tov, ki le'olam chazdo, yomarna Yisrael, ki le'olam chazdo, yomruna veit Aharon, ki le'olam chazdo, yomruna yirei Adonai, ki le'olam chazdo. Min hamitzar. From the narrow confines we called out to Yah, and we were answered with God's boundless peace. Min hamitzar karatia anani v'merchavya. Min hamitzar karatia anani v'merchavya. Anani, 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 v'merchavya. Anani, 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 v'merchavya. Yai lai la la lai, 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 yai lai la lai, yai lai lai. Bottom of page 207, we read responsively, Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Anu Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Hoshiana.
Anu Adonai Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai Hatzlichana.
Anu Adonai Hatzlichana.
Ana Adonai Hatzlichana.
Anu Adonai Hatzlichana.
Page 210. Or wherever Randall wants to start for this next prayer. For the closing prayer. Sorry, 208, bottom of 208.
For it is good to give thanks to you. It is pleasant to sing your praises. From everlasting to everlasting you are our God. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mechulal, batish bachot.
Amen. You may be seated for a second. Yasher Koach is on Randall. So we're now going to enter our Torah service. And we already have our Ark opener. And we need someone who'd like to hold the Torah and say the Shema while holding it and carry it around the sanctuary. Do we have a volunteer? Great, Bob. Fantastic. And at the end of our service, we'll have, I'm just going to set it up ahead of time, Hagba and Glila, someone who feels compelled to rise up and someone who feels compelled to wrap up. Any volunteers? Yeah, Hagwa? Aha, Hagwa. Ari, do you want to do Glila? Awesome, thank you. All right, Sophia, I'm going to invite you up, and I'm going to let you know when it's time to open the Ark, okay? Yeah, come on up. Come hang out by me. Our Torah service begins on page 215. You can stand right next to the Ark, and I'll tell you when, okay? And Bob, you can come up too. Ein kemocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshatecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo itein. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim etiva vertzonecha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Kivecha levad batachnu, melech el ram venisa, Adon olamim. We rise as the ark is opened. Vayehi bin Aharon, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, ve'afutzu oivecha, ve'yanusu misanecha, mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai, mirushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kdushato. Page 218.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromemo Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai HaKetula v'HaGevura
v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. V'chol Adonai amalacha v'yamis na'aseh v'chol v'rosh. Romemu, Romemu,
Adonai Eloheinu, ve'yishtachavu,
v'hishtachavu,
ve'adam raglav kadoshu. Romemu,
Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishtachavu,
Lehar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Yasher koach to Bob and to Sophia. You may be seated. Bob, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you not to pass out the Chumashim. Thank you so much. I think we should probably do that more when the Torah is getting passed around, we need to find another time. Is that okay? Let's not do it right now, but thank you. A conversation to be continued. Thank you, though, for your gesture. So, Shabbat Shalom. So I thought today we could talk about the weather. It's always a good place to start a conversation, right? So what's with the snow, right? But right, yay. Yay for the snow. Yay for the moisture. With these cold temperatures, the water is freezing. It's freezing in the sky. It's freezing on the ground. Yesterday, we had a frost. What is frost? It's frozen dew. And what is dew? It's water condensation when the evening temperatures cool. A little bit of physics and chemistry going on there. It's all something we know all too well, walking through grass or sitting on a chair in the morning. It's all wet with dew, right? In Judaism, it just so happens, on this day in our calendar, we have a shift in our Amidah prayer. As we all just experienced and heard about, we actually had a special blessing to signify this switch today, where we begin to bless for dew instead of rain. Up until now, since the conclusion of Sukkot, we've been blessing for rain. We've been blessing for wind also. But as we embark on our festival of Passover, literally also called the Festival of Spring, Chag HaAviv, we shift to the blessing of dew. I have often thought it's a bit strange, for shouldn't we keep blessing for rain, especially with the droughts we know in this land? Why ask for something less than what we need? Conversely, in the fall, when we shift to pray for rain, some places in the world get too much rain. And the last thing we would want to do, or they would want to do, is to pray for more rain. The Jewish calendar that we have set up was based on the needs of moisture in the land of Israel, and in accordance with its natural weather phenomenon and needs. I found that in the Mishnah, the Talmud, the writings of Maimonides, also known as Rambam, and so many other places, there's actually a recognition that other places may have different natural cycles and needs, and thus might want to or need to make some prayer adjustments. As per usual in Judaism, there are many conversations about different scenarios regarding when to begin the prayer, discussing options for adding an additional prayer for rain in one of the other Amidah prayers, weekday prayers called Shomea Tefillah, the one who hears our prayers, or where one can traditionally interject with one's prayers. There's a tradition with Shomea Tefillah that there's a place where we can pause and say our own prayers and not just the prayers written down. Also, there's another prayer in the weekday prayers called Birkat Shanim. It's the blessing for the years. It's really a blessing for that everything should happen in its right season. So ultimately, Maimonides, Rambam, and later codes of law, in particular the Shulchan Aruch, rule that the switch from rain to dew and back again should remain as scheduled, and the other weather prayers, any other weather prayers we may have in our hearts because of where we live, can be inserted into the personal prayers of Shomea Tefillah. That's the place where we're supposed to put it. And later we see, beyond the Shulchan Aruch, we see similar additional rulings by rabbis and rabbis and rabbis throughout time regarding recognizing that there's this eventual spread further and further out from Israel of people in different lands with different, more and more divergent needs. But they created a space right there in that place in our weekday prayers for the right prayer we need to pray. So what this allows is for a continuity of prayers where all of us are praying the same prayers at the same time. We're always connected to each other. We're always consistent with each other. We're always united with each other all over the world. And at the same time, we're given permission to pray for what we need at other times regarding the weather. I'm very glad that is resolved because I was concerned about that. And it's not a wonder that our texts and our ancestors literally thought of everything. Why did I ever doubt? But I want to go back to dew and a more spiritual piece about the dew, and perhaps a more important piece. Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt writes, "Throughout the Psalms, dew represents blessing, a gift from God. Dew is sustenance which arises as if by magic. Overnight, something mysterious occurs, and when we wake, water gilds the grasses and the fields. Dew represents divine grace, omnipresent, mysterious, blessing everyone equally, no matter who we are." The imagery of Tefillat Tal, the prayer we said today, is sweet. We ask God to let dew drop sweetly on the blessed land, to let dew sweeten the honey of the hills. Rabbi Barenblatt adds, "I see the prayer for dew as a chance to practice gratitude for everything necessary and wonderful and ineffable which sustains us. Maybe it's the literal dew that you will find, and maybe it's something more metaphorical. What is the dew for which you are most grateful? What does it mean to you to rise and be grateful for dew?" So as we step fully into our festival of spring, Chag HaAviv, the season of spring, of Aviv. And we have someone here whose Hebrew name is Aviva. May we all know divine graces and so much sweetness. May we always awaken to an awareness of such grace and find aspects sprinkled and sparkling through our days, just like the dew or the frost. It sprinkles particularly well, don't you think? These demonstrate such sweet blessings and can bring us out and bring out in us our abundant gratitude. Shabbat Shalom, happy spring, v'chag Pesach Sameach. All right, so we have Barry online, who's going to be chanting Torah for us. Thank you, Barry. And I'm going to be pointing in the Torah. And I want to invite up anyone who'd like to have an aliyah in honor of the dew, in honor of divine grace that we find sprinkling and sparkling our days. So Ya'amdu, anyone who wants to rise for the sparkles and glistens of dew and abundance and grace. Al HaTorah. I just need to find my spot. And where is it? I'm close. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It should be in here. There it is. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai b'shmo noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vatechatzak Mitzrayim aham lemacher v'shalacham min haaretz ki amru kulanu metim vayisaham et b'tzekot terem yechmat misharotam tzerurot b'simlotam al shikman uvnei Yisrael asu kidvar Moshe vayishalu mi Mitzrayim kule chesef ukle zahav usmalot v'Adonai natan et chen ham b'enei Mitzrayim vayash ilum v'natzelu et Mitzrayim.
Yasher koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mishaber hachavotenu v'imotenu. May the Holy One of Blessing, who blessed our ancestors before us, bless you. That your world, everyone's world, is sprinkled and sparkling with dewdrops of delight and grace for all of your days. May you feel paths opening before you as grace. May metaphorical or actual slavery and bondage or constriction give way to expansiveness, freedom, flow, song, dance. May your eyes be open to see. May your ears be open to hear. May your hearts be open to feel. And may your spirits be open to soar from the strength within that comes from such delight and grace. V'nomar amen. Yasher koach. We'll now say a blessing of healing for those in need of healing. And I'll invite first those in the room to say names you're thinking of. And then we'll invite those on Zoom to also share. You can write them in the chat or unmute yourself. We'll start with the room.
Joseph Portman. Andy Ralston.
My cousin Terry, my friend Hillary, my friend Owen, all those in
And on Zoom,
I'm going to read the names that were put in the chat. We have from Carol Sunahara and, oops, I just lost it. Andrew Ralston and Florence Slomowitz. From Susan Hindawi, Amira, Abe, Jamie, and Lori. From Giselle Boyer Marie, and Genevieve Boyer Marie, Judith Kovatz.
thank you, Barry. We're also thinking of Yehudit Azna Batlina Avraham, Chanadine Schultz, Sifra, Bobby Schultz, David Wilcox, Elisa Friedlander, Tzipora Epstein, Harav Chaya, Sarah Mina Bat Rivka Baila, Harav Miriam Yael Bat Yitzhak Vasara, Chaya Bat Gittel Vahersh, Della Spector, Sally Telpner, Avitel Cohen, Isa Martinez, Tony Heald, Sarah Rivka Bat Zahira Yael, Sophia Harris, Janice Litchin, Sanford Goldberg, Lola Sonnenschein, Roxanne Weinberger, Talia Weinberger, Alan Gale, Pam Davis, Howard Booster, Eliana Hirsch, Hazrael Ben David Vitalma, Harriet Bat Shmuel Miriam, Carlotta Spears, Owen Grush, Linda Barcalau, Rich Karchmer, Lynn Stolzer, Steve Stolzer, Hadassah Johanna Chaya Klein, Maynard Telpner, and Stephen Frimkiss. We're going to do Debbie Friedman's melody for those of us here in the room. It's on the very back of your book. Mishebera Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. At this point, I'd also like to add a prayer for the state of Israel, which can be found in our books on page 251. Please join me in the English. Rock and Redeemer of the people of Israel, bless the state of Israel, the first flowering of our redemption. Shield it with your love, spread over it your shelter of peace. Send your light and your truth to its leaders and advisors, and help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Grant them lasting fulfillment and crown their efforts with success. Grant peace in the land and everlasting joy to all of its inhabitants, and let us say, Amen. So we're now going to put away our Torah. So I'll invite the Goldens. Actually, Sophia, you could be the Ark opener again for when the Torah gets put away, okay? You want to come on up? All the family, except Izzy, who's elsewhere. We're thinking of him, we're holding him in our hearts. He's up here on the bima with us. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, in just a minute, I'll let you know. I'll spot you too. Bezot HaTorah she'sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. It's Chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tom he'al meushar deracheha darcheno v'chol netivoteha shalom ashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. We're about to say Aleinu. It's on page 375. And Aleinu is about redemption, the promise of a better future. It's about the greatest redemption of all, the imagining of this time when Mashiach comes, the Messiah. And we're really thinking a lot about Elijah on Passover, right? And then inviting in the one who will bring in that great redemption, the world to come. But really, it's all of us, too, with prophets and angels and divine grace, however we think about those things. But it's all of us with our hands coming together, doing the work in this world to bring about that world we dream of. So we rise for Aleinu and that vision of our ultimate redemption. 375. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, ואלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו. ידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. לתקן עולם במלכות שדי. May tikkun olam, mending the world, make manifest your mighty dominion. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו The mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 380. I invite those in our room first, and then we will ask on Zoom to name those you're thinking of this day. And on Zoom,
I'm remembering my mother, Luba Fine Carlton, and my friend Arthur Howard.
we remember loved ones of congregants who have died in the past year: David Kletter, Michael Basin, Marvin Sklan, Ed Ilson, Daniel Charles Dietz, Louise Reifman, Harriet Bellinson, Trudy Schuster, Betty First, Jessica Spirit, Ted Hannon, Rolanda Green, Groman, Mildred Pitts. We also remember all who have died in the Matzav in Israel, and all who have lost their lives in the world and during the Ukraine war and any other wars and violences. This Shabbat marks the yahrzeit of Sarah Gilman, Jim Swartzman, Alvin Stolzer, Margie Birnbaum, Israel Izzy Elson, Israel Friedman, Alan Brown, Toby Hirschman, Victor Abel, David Kaplan, Rose Horowitz, Isidore Ernest Karchmer, Charles Steinman, Harry Lewis Kaut, Henry Simon, Virginia Lee, Sylvia Brand Frunkis, Helena Natania Zajak. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, בעלמא דברה חיותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ועולמי עלמיא, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיא, וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Steve, would you like to read our announcements?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us this evening at 5 p.m. for our community Passover Seder on Zoom, on the TES Zoom link. See Friday's special announcement for details and the Haggadah link. Join Rabbis Ken and Julie for People of the Books on Thursday, April 21st at 3:30 p.m. In the TES Weekly, there will be details. We are excited to have our first annual Earth Day celebration next Sunday, April 24th, from 1 to 4 p.m., right here at our parking lot and the parking lot next door. Come on down, fun and inspiration for the whole family. Please see the TES Weekly for all the details. First, the first people who test drive the electric vehicles will receive special gifts. And our next services will be next Saturday, well, after tonight's service, next Saturday, April 23rd on Zoom and in person. Shabbat services at 10 a.m. Torah study will begin at 9:15. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
And one note about next week's Shabbat service, we will also have Yizkor, as it'll be the 8th day of Passover. And we'll continue hearing the melodies of Shalosh Regalim, these festival melodies. Great. Thank you, Steve. Great. Well, let us come back to Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. How awesome, sacred, divine, wowing is this place. Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. I messed it up. Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. Manorah Hamakom Hazeh. Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach. Please join us for, thank you. Thank you, Barry, for laning and for Zoom hosting. Thank you to all participated. Thank you, Solomon. And please join us, those who are here, for Kiddush and Motzi outside.
Sei gesund. Chag Pesach Sameach.